Another warm-hearted Game 3 awaiting for you here in China, in Xiyang, more specifically in WE's home arena. Welcome back, by the way. My name's Jake Osipenko, joined by Clement Chu over there. I'm sorry I pointed, it is very rude. However, we're about to jump into our second Game 3 of the night between WE and OMG, and what a rich Game 3 it'll be.
Yeah, historic rivalry going around right here. OMG for them. Game 2 was a very slow start in their solo lanes, and I think that's the #1 thing that they have to change.
Yep.
What we were talking about, OMG's win condition, always on the blue side, and they always need hero plays coming in from them. So let's look at the lanes they have. Urgot versus Xiyang, a good lane to have, and the Vladimir versus LeBlanc is also a decent matchup as well. Very hard for the LeBlanc to burst you down. However, the lanes are a bit slow, and they're very easily influenced by junglers coming in and making kills happen right here. So I think this is a more top-heavy type of matchup where the junglers between beishang and Best 16 are really kind of define the early game.
Yeah, no, I was about to say as well that for WE, running beishang in the Aatrox jungle again is great. Play with what worked in game #2. Look for that Game 3 potential once again. Best 16 on his first Lee Sin we've seen this series. Away from that Olaf, and Mystic is on Sivir. So, although you see the Lucian Gragas in the bottom lane, a very different lane here for Chelly and 5. We'll see if OMG can play against that strength of game #2 and make a big difference here. Let's go, the final game of the night. We have to have a victor. We have to have a 2-win team right after this. Alright, settle down, settle down. I don't know what it is with this WE crowd tonight, but they are a rowdy bunch.
They're seeing the evolution of WE before their eyes. If you told me there was a team that was going to change their strategy drastically, I would not have guessed WE. WE is a team that always seems to play to their own pace, plays to their own meta, regardless of the times. And we're seeing a new face right here, actually going for a Sivir, which is, not a Kai'Sa, not an Ezreal, and not a Vayne. I'm actually really happy about this matchup. Happy about Mystic going into new picks.
Yep.
However, the matchup he's going into is a very, very poor one.
Whoa. Alright, everyone settle down. I got a bit excited, but you're right, Clement. It is going to be a very different matchup for Mystic. I'm glad we see Chelly and 5 on the Lucian Gragas, though. I mean, look at this composition. You know what they want to achieve. It's very plain and simple. And it gives Chelly the potential to carry, which is what we've seen with him on the Kai'Sa.
Great engage potential onto WE's compositions. Their lanes, I would say, are a little less surefire in terms of the early game. The Lucian versus the Sivir is basically an 80% to a 20% matchup. I still remember those words being ushered by Crepo. And it's just, it's so hard to actually play into that lane.
Yep.
So the win condition, the way W was able to dominate the game in Game 2 is probably not going to happen this time around. I think the mid and jungle duo is going to be more important.
I think mid especially here as we're looking at the electrocute Vladimir. So a lot of kill threat here from Icon earlier on to match the LeBlanc, especially when you saw you have cooldown reduction built in the runes with Transcendence. So we're going to see like 20% CDR Vlad very early on. And mixed with Protobelt, which is honestly probably going to be the first item, unless we do see something like the Banshee's Veil very early to counter the LeBlanc, which still has CDR anyway.
Vladimir is actually a pretty decent pick into the Sivir as well. Sivir can't really get away from the burst damage that Vladimir can throw at you. It's very hard to predict what actually, when he's actually going to throw out the Tides of Blood. He can do that when he is submerged in the sanguine pools, just like you saw in that trade right there.
Double body pop there from 5. Doesn't have any mana to follow up, but the aftershock will hit absolutely no one. Mystic and Missing able to push back now. That the Gragas has just used everything, but does hit level 3. Who's that?
Incoming.
It's a 2-man explosive. No, rather. Well, what is that Q called? What is that silly cast? What is that barrel of booze?
Boomerang?
No.
Oh, you're
talking about Gragas.
Barrel roll.
Barrel roll. Yeah, I should remember. Just think Sonic Fox and you'll be right. I don't know why I said Sonic
This
Fox.
is actually a really heavy damage composition bot lane coming out from OMG, but can they avoid the gank?
That's a flash forward from Missing. Does find the Winter's Bite. The ultimate is not available, of course. Only level 3. Chelly will just get locked into a corner. And first blood over to beishang.
And this is the strategy that W has been going for, even in a matchup where they're getting countered. But let's look at the top lane first.
There's more action in the top side. Flashes again. Sonic
Q1,
Wave
Q2.
resonating strike. One more hit here, and Xiyang can't find it. nor can best 16. No response kill for OMG.
2 auto attacks away from finishing on the deal, but Pose manages to get away from that. And just look at this minion wave. That should be a solid level lead that Mystic is going to hold over the matchup. Watching that again, 5 does stop beishang from engaging here, but Chelly already took the Q coming in from missing, concussive blows going down, and there's not much you could do after the stun.
Pretty volatile in the bottom lane again this game, and we saw what happened when the bottom lane snowballed out of control, especially when it was, you know, a winning matchup again for OMG. It doesn't matter. If WE can get ahead, we saw what the Vayne can do. Sivir's more or less the same, except you wait for a little bit later in the game. We'll see how that goes. Small gold lead to WE here in the first 5 minutes of the game.
I want to see what Best 16 does to really match. He did throw that gank up into the top lane. It should keep the Xiyang pushing forward quite frequently, but their bot lane right now is really on the ropes. The amount of pressure that I think beishang's been giving over to that lane, you also have to factor in Xiye has been having a good time. What?
Oh, missing, caught out in the mid lane. Not sure what this Brom's doing here. The Winter's Bite to slow down, but Flashboard committing from Icon. Remember, he has electrocuted here. He's burnt his summoners, doesn't heal up. The turnaround, 5 does get the response kill, but it's way too late. Can he escape? Well, he's on the wrong side. Turret, help me please. WE looking for the kill. He will not escape here. beishang gets his 2nd kill of the game, and WE just fight back.
I want to know if that was intentional for missing. He knew his members were rotating in,
Best
but it was
bait.
a very it was a really good bait coming right there. Icon,
Oh my god, not again.
unexpectedly trying to get the kill, uses everything in that exchange, and it just backfires horribly.
He saw Raptors, side note, was just highly contested there, but we'll watch what was the best bait in 2019.
Okay, so Missing finds himself very far forward. beishang able to come in. Oh, that was a beautiful Q1 to knock up Icon. Tags him with the Q3 as well. All the damage going down. Good return on 5. Good return on 5, but the damage was already done at this point. Well, beishang really saves that play, stopping the damage from going in onto the Braum.
I was going to say, but look at what the cost was, especially since you had to flash body slam after what was a pick there from 5. Big trade-off for OMG. Support roams up, doesn't get too much apart from a kill, which realistically is not too bad, so I'll take it all back. But we'll see. As Chelly still hasn't found his advantage in this lane. It's even CS in a lane that arguably should be a lot further ahead.
Now Lucian can match the push of Sivir and the poke damage coming in early in the Gragas matchup. Also should help them win out, but of course beishang with the early ganks really negating most of that. We were talking about the volatile nature of WE's solo lanes, and right now Xiye should have free reign, so it's about how OMG can play defensively and at least keep their bot lane from dying again. I don't even think that they're going to be able to edge out much of a CS lead further on into the laning phase. I want to see how Best 16 can get Icon and him to set up vision and at least protect that lane.
At least move yourself to the mid game where Vladimir can move amongst these team fights and Icon actually put down some of that damage. Best 16 focusing on the bottom side, but he's spotted out by a ward. And with that information, beishang, he's in the top side. Probably get his red. Probably look towards the top side of the map. Xiyang does have a control ward there, but he's going to have to get through. beishang, can he get through that Tribush? Well, might be a little bit late. Xiyang is in a bad position. Where's he going to walk to? He's trying to turn it onto post. Desmatic Smash doesn't land. beishang will get the infernal chains. Ultimate misses well from post. Xiyang just walking this out. Good old trap style. Will be slowed down again. Trying to turn the fight. Xiyang now has nowhere left to go. He gets the purge down, but unfortunately Xiyang gets the help. Does get slam dunk in the end. 3rd kill for the Aatrox. It was worth a try.
That was so well played on Xiyang's part. He was very far overextended in lane, and ultimately did cost him his life. But look at how he held on to his own threats. He had 6 stacks on the Echoing Flames and his passive. Massive damage where he could actually send beishang into the World Ender with his full combo. Does dodge out on everything coming in from Pose. So, you know, the results matter. Results do matter. W do get the kill, get ahead. But about as well as you could possibly have played it.
It's such a big growing pain though for OMG. You look at the jungle, 3 kills to an Aatrox who's going Warriors. Icon still has that first kill, and sorry, xiye rather, Sonic Wave, they've now found him blown up. Never mind, it's a kill apiece. One this time over to best 16.
And that's the favored composition that we've seen that Karsa and Xiao, who have been running ever since 2018. There's just so much burst damage in that combo.
Ulti down, 5 in a lot of trouble. Lockdown with the concussive blows, ignites there. A boomerang to the face. Mystic says, I got me boomerang back.
And that was just too easy. That was honestly too easy on Mystic's part. Doesn't even expend the flash. No ultimate blown for Mystic. We didn't get to see the start of that fight, but with how little resources WE needed to control that, it seems like maybe 5 was out of position trying to hold the minion wave.
Second death for the Gragas down in the bottom lane, trying to hold the minion wave so that Chelly can actually keep up. He's ahead in CS, but Storm Race is now picked up for Mystic. Chelly still does not have Blade of the Ruined King. There's a difference in this bottom lane, and it's very apparent right now with the 2K gold lead over to WE. A very good start to this game 3. Is WE getting back in form? Look, the same can be asked about OMG. This game is about growing pains in the league itself. Chelly locked down with the Winter's Bite, dodges away from the Boomerang Blade. This time it really did come back.
OMG never been the same team without SMLZ. That's the big question. Remember, they were our Rift Rivals representatives in 2017, going to Kaohsiung to represent the LPL. But in 2018, especially in the summer split, they were actually the 6th place team in their own conference. With the amount of talent that OMG does have, that never should have been the case. It's really about figuring out a strategy for them. I always saw OMG as a team that didn't really have a deep, comprehensive strategy. They had laning phase win, hope Icon brings us some miracle plays, but that was pretty much it. And this split for me is still about, can they actually develop? They have that jungler locked down, but I want to see more out of them, especially in the mid game.
If we're talking about OMG developing though, Clement, I'd say we just need to talk about WE developing back into the 2017 form as well. If they can get themselves, yeah, look, there's a bit of influence in the mid lane. Best 16 is going to meet with beishang, but I will bring it back a little bit, Clement, because beishang's here. It's actually gone maybe the minions helped in this scenario, but for WE 2017, we remember 957. We remember heavy top lane influence from this team and a team fight that would be remembered at Worlds. To return to that former glory, both teams have similar objectives right now for WE. This is how it begins against OMG's mid laner with the Sanguine pulled down. The Hemoflake's there. Icon can't heal in time. He flashes for time, but it does not work. 4 kills on Aatrox jungle. This is getting serious.
This is such good timing from beishang. Catches the Vladimir out of the Sanguine pool, and then even forces an extra flash away from Icon. Still goes down. He's going to run this jungle now.
And he just does so much damage that Best 16 can't stand near him. Infernal Change there, he almost gets pulled back in. beishang has ultimate available, level 9 in the jungle right now. He's just absorbing so much experience, so much farm. And just as easy as that, Best 16 has to leave the bottom lane.
4K cold advantage. I want to see how much of that is on beishang at this point. It's such a difference with WE playing up with their new jungler. They subbed out Magic in game 1. And now we can see they're finally linking up their winning lanes.
beishang won't be spotted until now. He walks outside the brush. The winning lane seemed to be WE's bottom lane, which we said was not going to be convincing with the Lucian Gragas from OMG. But this has just gone from bad to worse for OMG. WE continue to snowball ahead. More turret plating for the Sivir Brom. And beishang just steals a little bit for himself too.
This time around, Icon does have something that can get more damage down in the team fights. The Vladimir against a short range carriage like Mystic. If he was on the Vladimir the last game around, he probably would have found that kill onto the Vayne in the crucial team fights. So Icon putting him on more of his carry pants again. They do have a late game option. It's not completely over for them.
It's definitely not. We're seeing the replay in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, Clement. It was just a clean sweep through the body of Icon.
And look at this play again. W are so far ahead in the matchup. I believe what they did here is they didn't actually back. They feigned a back and...
Oh, hang on. Might not be over now. Locked in place again. Knocked up. The Hemoflake hits xiye. But Icon, he can't survive it again. And xiye lives on.
It's too easy for the combination.
It's rough, Clement. And even bot lane turret. Let's add more gold to WE. Chelly, if he stays here, he might die. 5 goes in for the body bot, but doesn't hit missing. So turret stays up for now. But a lot of structures ready to be burned down by WE.
Absolute disaster coming out on OMG's side. I really like to play from W. It was so smart. They actually feigned it back towards the bot side. You could see OMG's bot lane trying to go for the top side, thinking that the push was over, but then Mystic and Missing show up on their side of the river. They have to walk back for that.
Okay, Clement, show me again how painful this is. If you're that Vladimir.
Just the distortion going in, clearing out the minion wave. A perfect timing. He actually didn't get the Q2, but didn't matter. He already had the Deathbringer
He autoed attack. He got his passive auto. That's half health right there.
Yeah, Mutilate's also a very good skill against Vladimir in general. Prevent most of the healing from going down.
To be fair though, although we're focusing heavily on the mid lane, bottom lane with Rift Herald drop down, but Collapse is coming in, teleports are there. Best 16 not in the greatest position. Post ults to knock him up. Now for 5 and Chelly to get out alive, but it's 5 members of WE locking down the body bot. 5 gets 1, but it doesn't matter. 5 members collapse again, and WE reigns supreme.
WE trading over 2 kills, but the question is, how much can OMG really get back? They do lose 1 tower for it. Actually, it's just a straight win for WE.
Yeah,
there is no question left.
I'm wondering, how do we explain that one? Icon's pushed up in this lane as well. Lockdown with the Winter's Bite, Boomerang Blade, and Ignite. Hemoplague on 2, but missing ultimate CC here. Icon eventually does use his Sanguine Pool. Can he kill Mystic? Again, the answer's no. Another winning lane, but WE is flying ahead.
Oh, they're just getting so much out of this down turret in the bot side. Feigning a back once, and then in this time around, they leave a deep ward so that Pose can come in and join in on the action. They're just punishing a 1 lane to the maximum. This is such a clinic on how to win a game, how to snowball a small laning phase lead into a massive one when you have that tower down.
It's such a feels bad. WE getting Infernal Clement, and look what's coming up next.
Another Infernal?
That's it. Let's watch this again, though.
Just watch that super deep ward onto the backside. WE thought about the potential for this to happen. They bring in On the Hunt.
Oh, the camera's like, where the heck do I focus?
Yeah, Best's first instinct is to get out of the fight. He uses the Scion as flashport. There's nothing much that Chelly and 5 can even do here. Full 5-member collapse onto their position. This is just beautiful snowballing.
Continues to run out of control. WE with a 9, or rather 8k gold advantage at 16 minutes in the game. Probably the most dominant game we've seen tonight. Mystic's enjoying it. He's almost 2 items. He's enjoying the fact that he's going to take this turret and get himself more gold. Best 16 and Chelly almost caught out. Beishang can 1v3 at the moment with Black Cleaver and Warriors. Icon is waiting to the side. Will not find himself the ward as xiye just poshes him out. Poshes is a very posh version of pushes, by the way. And WE, Mr. Sanders, you're onto something.
Great prediction so far, Mr. Sanders.
He plays it safe, Mr. Sanders. He uses his statistics and he plays it safe. And why wouldn't you? WE get another turret. That's number 4 for World Elite.
What can OMG really do at this point? It's just so
I hear you
difficult.
thinking. Okay, let's ponder. Icon 0 and 4. That's not what you want. But Icon is a Vladimir. And Vladimir's are bonkers at 40 minutes in the game. So let's wait 20 minutes. And if we get there, let's really question how the fights are going to go. Because you never know. How's that for optimism? Hang on. Train's coming in. Who's aboard it? Xiyang has a ticket. Flashes over, doesn't want to get on it just yet. Xiye might have been caught out by OMG, but the collapse is actually coming from WE. Culling's out, best 16 lockdown. 1-man ultimate's all they need. WE find their first. They're not interested in Xiyang. They're looking at 5. It's beishang just soloing out the bottom lane of OMG. World Ender's there. Sad Cat here as well. A tear shedded as 5 can't escape in time. Boomerang out once on more. And WE, the clinic continues, milady.
It's just getting almost comical at this point. WE just able to collapse in such a great speed. You look at Sivir and Scion, they were only at the middle of the map. They chased them, they herd them down, they hunt them down at the final end. And you can see how helpless Icon is feeling in this match. He didn't even really back for the team fight. He was just backing because he cleaned up all the ways on the top side. Like, well, not much I can really do here.
Yeah.
The best I can do is get as much farm as possible.
And hopefully we get there. Hopefully we get to a point of stability. But WE are 11k gold ahead. There's no stability in this game. Another Infernal coming up in 1 minute 40. 30 seconds till the Baron. OMG took us to a game 3. Well, rather, they started off game number 1. But very different performance here. beishang, get out of here. All right, Clement. Again, let's watch this train depart. And
right
where does it stop?
Gets an extra speed buff. Forces the flash. Xiye just makes sure to keep everyone in play. It's actually baiting the team to stay in position. Look at the amount of crowd control, the catch that they can get. The Decimating Smash, Glacial Fissure, 1v2 on the bot side. And all the while, Icon, lonely man in the top, is trying to find a win condition for them.
Oh, here's a good dodge from Fire. You look at the small things from OMG. In fact, we have another fight mid. WE have already found their first kill, which is not good for OMG. Xiyang running for the hills, but Crab has got too many legs and too many problems. Mystic adds one more. Baron is now up, and WE, let's go. Oh, hang on.
W is not messing around with the 3v5. They've seen what happened all game long. I can bet you that she is just going to play keep away right there in the mid lane. Another rotation out onto Chelly. Icon's trying to force his way into position. Doesn't even get any damage onto Xiye.
Yeah, Xiye is hanging in around the side. They want to stop the Baron, but Post just has to come out and zone them. There's so much damage going down on it now. Realistically, OMG can't get anywhere near it. And you see, Best 16's not even there. Teleport's coming in. OMG, one final fight as Baron gets secured down. Slowing down with the barrel. Doesn't happen this time. Best 16 coming in for the Sonic Wave. Doesn't connect, rather, with the Resonating Strike. And OMG can't stop the Baron. WE, another objective, 13k gold.
I think this is the split that we're going to see Mystic once again moving up the kill ladder so far. We've just got the stats in. Number 1 does belong to Uzi. Number 2, Rookie. 3, SMLZ. 4, Cool. And Mystic is sitting at number 5 with currently 1,500 plus 5 kills.
Which is not a bad way to enter 2019, realistically, with a milestone. And it is week 5 of the LPL, so we're edging towards playoffs ever so quickly, Clement.
Oh yeah, time really does fly in the LPL. You have so many teams and not enough weeks to really stretch it out.
We have so many matches. 16 teams. This is a party in the LPL, and everyone's invited. And this party might end with double Infernal. Another Ocean coming. Ocean doesn't matter. They want a triple, but it doesn't matter, really. WE is so far ahead at this point. You're laughing.
Oh, boy. I really like to see W back in form. They're one of those missing pieces in the LPL where you feel like if they're not doing well, there's just something wrong with the narrative overall. They are the team that really started it all. 2017. I remember like getting on the WE hype train in 2015. Man,
they were my... Oh, well, okay. All right, I was going to say for 2017, I think my favorite team at Worlds. Just the way they played. You watched WE, you got excited because this one fight defined them. Oh boy. And for WE, they've had many fights that define them this game. Look at Best 16. This is your last hope.
I like what Best 16 is doing. He's finding the angles, he's probing around. But he's probably on the wrong side of the map at this point. Does need to get towards the bottom.
Well, what can he do? OMG on their last legs defending against this inhibitor turret. 15k gold lead for WE.
Coming in now.
Into the top side of the map. Where is the sign? Charges through. Mystic's actually been eaten up. That's one big pick. Fear Beyond Death, but Xiye just walks on in. A trade-off kill already. A great kill and pick from OMG, but the cost is rather too great at this point. 3 for 1, and WE with Baron minions can walk towards the base, and who knows what.
Yeah, this does look very much like the end of the game right here now. 4 versus 1 defend. 12, still 20-something seconds to finish it off. Without Mystic, they do lack a bit of wave push there. Objective clear right here, though.
Well, they won't end it just yet. WE able to push on in, maybe go to the top side now, but playing it rather safe for a 16k gold lead. Xiye just 1v3'd before in the fight, so Interesting.
He pretty much took out the entire backline himself. Great start from OMG. Best 16 finally gets the pick he was looking for. Doesn't even matter because Chelly is just traded back so easily.
If Chelly's able to... I mean, he's got his second item, he's got Essence Ray for second, but we'll watch out how OMG actually got a pick.
That's a lot of distance traverse right here. Mystic does spell shield that, but he can't get the Dragon's Rage. Hemo Plague down as well. Instant Fear Beyond Death, but they don't tag Xiye in that interaction, and Xiye just one-shots Chelly.
WE able to get away with it once again, but getting away with it is rather wrong at this point, especially since WE have worked their way up to this point in the game. Beishang has had such a good early game, and WE, that bottom side of the map, escalated once more. 3 items onto Mystic. Very hard for OMG to actually penetrate posts as well. And a lot of the frontline threat of WE, and the damage right now is almost one-shot worthy. Best 16 is just trying to get out of the base at this point, but WE will not let him.
There's no good targets to focus. It's just too difficult. Mystic, Spell Shield, Xiye, Banshee's Veil.
Well, let's see
can't
what
go down.
OMG can do. Missing is walking forward. Turret is down in front of the inhibitor now. OMG last legs again. Chelly gets bursted down. Beishang is too much of a threat. WE walking in, looking to get all 3 inhibitors down. Playing it almost too clinical at this point. Bounty on pretty much everyone. Poor Post missing out on the party. He has a BF sword ready for his GA in his inventory, so hopefully the damage enables him to get a kill and join that said party.
That's always fun times when your Xiyang can get a BF sword.
That's not the right target though. Post will not die here. Ult's on down. Knocks up the Vladimir. Post at half health. Culling into the front line. Missing is not tanky enough. Nor is Urgot. Xiyang the first one to drop. That's a Hema Plague. And it would be massive if they were even. They pop the world under a Beishang. There's low health bars of WE. OMG may have successfully defended here. But GA just double distortions in. And OMG lose their jungler. And now they've lost the rest of their base.
It's still a 5-man in from WE. Pose is probably going to come back and finish it with the teleport as well.
Oh, 5 gets body bombed. Last bit of the change. Xiye deletes him. And WE looks so damn good in this series. Rather, game 2 and 3, they brought themselves back. It was a historic matchup. And one that WE came to the party to secure. A 2-1 will give them 2 wins in the LPL. And in front of their own crowd, they'll take down OMG.
And welcome back Xiye and Mystic to the game. This is the 2017 WE that we wanted to see. There's flashes of that returning. They had the best carries in the league at that point in Xiye and Mystic. WE, they had Xiye missing out on the start of the fight. It was Ched9 starting the season in his stead, but this is the best game that we've seen Xiye play in, the best style that we wanted to see him dominate in, playing the 2v2 with his jungler and making his impact felt across the map.
They wanted to play around that 10-man roster, Clement, and they've done it with the jungle this time. Maybe that's the secret to WE, bringing in Beishang. Huge difference in game 2 and 3, and especially game 3. He was the clinical factor that cleaned up OMG and took them out of the game 10 minutes in.
Oh yeah, just the amount of ganks that they were throwing into the bot side. WE has a winning strategy right now. They're always going to pick a late game hyper-scaling AD carry, but now it doesn't matter as much because they can use the jungle pressure to influence to even out the lane and make sure that Mystic is just ahead throughout the entirety of the game. WE finally cracked the code. Coach Wei Xiao is standing behind them, legendary AD carry himself. Yeah. And this game plan pretty much feels like an AD carry's dream scenario.
It really
where
does.
They just have everyone focusing on them.
Hey, let's come to the bottom lane. Let's bring every single member down. And that's exactly what WE did. And Mystic had the time of his life this series, plain and simple. We saw the Vayne come back out. We saw a range of compositions from both teams, really. But for WE, it was, you know, more about that mid-jungle duo influencing the bottom side.
Just 4 successful ganks earlier on. Icon got absolutely nothing going in that game. Yeah. He went for something that needed to scale a little bit because he felt like the team fight pressure was so high on OMG. So still questions remaining for OMG. Is their bot lane really strong enough to step up to the top tier teams in the LPL?
Yep.
can they find a team fight-oriented win strategy outside of just, hey, Hail Mary win one of our lanes and try to snowball the game from there?
Especially when OMG looked so competitive against IG and they had those multiple win conditions when Icon was on the Jace and actually threatened Rookie. I'm not even sure we saw a solo kill. That was the start of the season. This is the OMG we see now. And when LGD beat IG, when Rogue Warriors last night beat Suning, it's like, who sits at the bottom of the table? And at the moment, OMG still on 1 win. It's them at the moment with Snake, with LGD now on 1 win. So it's competitive towards the bottom side, but also like the mid-tier, we don't know who sits there comfortably.
That's what's so amazing. What we're seeing on the bottom is the teams that we know and love. And there's Snake and OMG. And really, LPL, this split is about improve or get left behind.
Yeah.
Sino Dragons is showing up there in the top 8. We looked at Vici Gaming, even though they didn't make it today, still very strong performances across the board.
It makes it more potent to teams like Invictus Gaming, who are, you know, your world champions. It makes it rougher for them as well if they don't get better with the loss of their coaching staff as well. A whole different rabbit hole. I'm sure we'll jump down another time. However, for MVPs, important to note that if beishang didn't get this, I'd be very upset. So, my lord.
You called it.
Okay, sorry, that was kill participation.
Yeah, I know what you were looking at.
I was like, hang on, isn't damage percentage normally there? Maybe gold difference at end was moved up. I don't know which sneaky person did that.
With how much damage Xiye and basically Mystic did, it doesn't matter on the damage front, but the gold at the end and the synergy between Xiye, that's what we were really looking at. The big piece that WE were missing within 2018 was Condi, because he took a very extended break to handle family issues there. And we never saw the same Xiye really come back into the game. This time around, with that much time passed, we're finally seeing sparks again. They are a legit 2v2 duo.
And despite my over-exclamation just then, you know, there wasn't too much damage that was done. It was more, like you said, influencing the map there for beishang. So good to see WE flexible in their roster and actually making a big difference, especially after Condi left. We still had questions on how this team would look towards its shot calling and initiative in these games. For WE, we have more of an answer after their win over OMG, which means for standings, everything's still up and about. Now with 2 wins for WE, OMG sitting towards the bottom of the table with LGD and Snake. But remember, LGD are looking good. They're taking games off some of these bigger teams.
Yeah, and there's a lot of teams that are clustered around that 2- and 3-game win streak, and a lot of names that you didn't think would be there. JD Gaming and Royal Never Give Up being the big ones that we've known, and also EDG sliding down to 10th place as well with the recent losses. Teams like WE and even Snake, which are further behind them in the rosters. To recap off the format that we're running off this season, it is a best-of-1 format. So if you lose to a single team, that's 1 point that you're never really getting back. And the head-to-head is completely one-sided as well. So losing to teams behind you really does hurt you in the standings, because the teams above you, they probably won against that. They're going to have that circular situation where they win against both teams, and if it's a 3-way tie, they just go automatically up.
We need to mind map this stuff. It's pretty difficult.
It's really complicated.
16 teams in the LPL, and this one beats this one, this one beats this one.
It's better to lose to teams above the standings rather than below the standings, is what I'm trying to make. Because if you do go below the standings, then there's a potential for a 3-way head-to-head to bring you down. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
makes perfect sense. However, we still need more of that understanding. We need more practical experience, which is what's going to happen on Friday for you. Now, there's no English broadcast on Friday. Our days are Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. But on Friday, these are games I would not miss if I were you, especially IG and Sino Dragon, considering both teams are in the same position right now, and Sino Dragon being a fresh team.
Yeah, can IG actually break out of the slump? That's a big question everyone wants to look at too. They've only had 2 losses in 2018, the regular split, 2 losses already in 2019 to LGD and JD Gaming. On the other hand, STG, they've been going up and up and up. Xiaopeng, a massive diddly player right there, and Gala having the most kills in the LPL. So this is a pretty good comeback game for Invictus Gaming. Can they put the young ones in their place?
And Sino Dragon have that bottom lane that's very much like Vici Gaming. It's a big highlight focus, and they're underrated players in the LPL. Suning and EDG is that other matchup on Friday as well. That's a very important one considering where EDG is standing. Saturday, these are going to be your matchups as well. This is when we're back, baby. This is our match of the week. Oh, look, there's Snake, Vici, LGD, V5. That's all well and true. RNG and TOP. That's where legends are born.
The true heavyweights going up against each other. And you have to remember, these guys faced up against each other in the summer finals of 2018. RNG was able to take that one clean and easy, even with a 15-minute game. So TP are out for revenge, and they've got a new mid laner to do it for them. The matchup we're going to be looking at is the 2v2 in the mid and jungle. Yep. I think the best duo we have in the LPL right now, and it's going to go to Knight and XX against Xiaohu and Carson.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We're going to be back on the Saturday, so it's a bit of a break. No LPL for you tomorrow, but we will see you Saturday back for the English broadcast. Big thank you to Clement Chu and the rest of the production team here at Dominion. We will be back, remember, Saturday. Watch the LPL on Friday. That's your homework, and I'll see you then.